I've had others say, "Why are you doing this? This is just breathing." And so my answer is always to come back to our breath is the connection to ourselves and regulating our nervous system. And once we start to understand that we have tools to do that, and that's really, for me, what this is about, it's giving young people and athletes the tools in real time and at home and in school to start to have an awareness of how to regulate their nervous systems.
Welcome to Collective Guidance with your host, Charla Goodnight. This is a space where we come together to share wisdom, stories, and insights from thought leaders and everyday humans alike. Here, you'll find conversations on spirituality, health, wellness, parenting, and the human experience, all designed to remind you that you are not alone and that we are all connected. Let's step into the guidance we can only find together. Welcome to Collective Guidance with your host, Charla Goodnight. Let's face it, our nervous systems are extremely important to have regulated. On today's episode, we're discussing nervous system regulation, mindfulness, and breath work for teens and teen athletes. Also, we'll discuss why conversations of wellness and high school sports matter. My guest today is Stacey Healy. Stacey is a mom of three, wellness coach specializing in teens, breathwork facilitator, educator, soccer coach, yoga instructor, social emotional learning facilitator, and mindfulness coach for teen athletes and their teams looking to excel in sports. Stacey, I am so grateful that you're here today talking about this important topic that I don't think anyone's talking about. Breath work for teens and teen athletes and how incorporating that can help them excel in sports. So thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to talk about our nervous system, um, and how bringing that into the lens of wellness and athletes for our teens is so important.
Yeah, so let's jump right in. What is your journey with teen athletes? How do you discover that breath work was so important for them and nervous system regulation? Take me on your journey.
Yeah. So I have been, well, as a mom, I have three. Well, I have a 20-year-old and two 17-year-old twins who have all played sports. And I have been a soccer coach for the past 10 years. So from the little and kind of grew up with my daughters playing so through high school and both male and female. And so through my journey of coaching, I have recognized that we are in a time of um, nervous systems that can be dysregulated, and that can come in the form many different forms. I had noticed some of my athletes struggling with anxiety, and learning that through our breath and through awareness of our nervous system, we gain strength to start to control that. And especially as athletes and especially as a coach. So when I was watching that, I thought, you know what, there has to be a way that we get this out more because I know there are more athletes struggling with that. And so, just in conversations of wellness coaching and how that can fit in, and with my background as a coach, as an educator, how to come into more working with teens within this wellness scope and nervous system regulation.
Yeah, what results have you seen when teen athletes have incorporated breath work?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's really different for them. So in my experience, and I have done this in a group setting and individual as well. when I have introduced the idea of breathing, I've had young people say to me, I don't get it. This is just breathing. Like, why is this important? And as we go more into it, one of my favorite stories was introducing box breathing. Um,
Can you
and
explain what box breathing is
yeah,
just for people that don't know what box breathing is?
absolutely. So, box breathing would be, I like to say, visualize. And this, I'm going to go for an athlete, right? So if they're out on the field or they're in the gym, basketball, wherever it is, you can look for something that would resemble a square scoreboard or something just to give a visualize. So you're going to take a moment. And so let's inhale. So big inhale and exhale. And then another big inhale and exhale. And so here we're going to count. We're going to do an inhale and count for 4. So on the inhale, go 1, 2, 3, 4. And at the top of that inhale, you're going to hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then inhale again and exhale. And so you're creating the shape of a box with your inhales and
Mm.
exhales. And so when you create that shape, so you're going up, say you have a square, right? I would do a visualize. So I'm saying a scoreboard, whatever they can see, a goalpost. So on that inhale, just breathe up for 4, hold at the top for 4, exhale, hold, and then inhale. And so it's just a moment to breathe. Now, I want to point this out. This type of breathing does not work for everybody. There's all different methods to introduce. So, with this one, though, I had an athlete who really connected to that. So, when he came in to class, he was very excited to share that after doing and learning box breathing, he went on to the pitcher's mound and he was struggling with pitching. He also realized when he was pitching, he was holding his breath for a long time. So he started using box breathing. And then,
Mm.
with the biggest smile on his face, he said, I started to strike out several hitters. So that was really cool. I've had others say, why are you doing this? This is just breathing. And so my answer is always to come back to our breath is the connection to ourselves and regulating our nervous system. And once we start to understand that we have tools to do that, and that's really, for me, what this is about, it's giving young people and athletes the tools in real time and at home and in school to start to have an awareness of how to regulate their nervous systems. It's something that I was an athlete, high school and into college, and it's something that I wish that I had. And so now that I understand how to do it, giving that knowledge to others is really a passion of mine. And I think it's very important to do. And so also having daughters who are athletes, I had one in cross country, one in tennis, soccer. And so there are also young people out there who, they're nervous or they may have anxiety.
Well,
And
yeah.
when they get out into their sport, say running, our breathing can become shallow and
Mhm.
it can make them scared that they're having a panic attack when
Oh.
you're exercising, right? So you're not actually having it, but having that control of understanding, wait, let me see, am I having a panic attack? And if I am, how can I use my breath to calm myself? And also, maybe this is from exercise and I'm not having a panic attack. So can I walk myself through that?
It's funny you say that because I have a friend whose daughter is in cross country running, and she had her first meet, and she said that her daughter felt like she was having a panic attack. And I was like, actually, it sounds like she wasn't controlling her breath, because and I told her, I was like, you should talk to Stacey Healy. She can help you with that. And she was like, really? She does that? And I was like, yeah, she does. So, what steps can parents take to help their kids regulate their nervous system?
Right. I think it's so interesting, right? Because I have my daughters. So I will give them some tips and tools and they don't really want to listen to it because it's coming from me, right?
Yeah.
This is what we go through. So I think though, I mean, if they're open to it, then sitting with them and together, there's wonderful apps out there. There's wonderful things that you can listen to and just show them and do it with them, different techniques of breathing. And something that is more new to me, but I went through a yoga teacher training is yoga because there's so much of the breath work of breathing in yoga and calming our nervous systems. And athletes need the restorative practice for their bodies. And yoga is a wonderful restorative practice for athletes that are out there working hard and pushing their bodies. So that's another way that parents can help with that.
So, talk to us about what is social emotional learning facilitator?
So this summer, I did a certification with Breathe for Change. The name in itself is amazing. So it's made for educators to bring the practice of yoga, breath work, and being a social emotional learning facilitator. So being able to have the education of bringing a group of students together and guiding them through and helping them navigate that part of life. So there's schools out there that are focused on the social emotional learning, so the emotional well-being of our young people, which is amazing. This certification over the summer gave me the ability to incorporate elements of yoga, elements of breath work, so a mindfulness meditation certification, and then create with all of this, a workshop that I can bring to teens, to teams, and coaches as a facilitator.
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I started to incorporate another just to go back on what parents can do, and I loved this from my training, and I have actually incorporated it into a class I'm working with right now. So when my class comes in, we meet in a circle and we do a 3 breath just to come to, like whatever happened during their day, we're taking 3 breaths together. For some, it can definitely feel awkward because it's like, what are you having us do? But it's just a moment to check in. And then I move to just a 2-word check in. And that to me has been amazing. So I think as a parent, if we had a tool that we want to hear what our kids are going through and talk to us. And
Yeah.
they often don't have the words to give us, or maybe they don't want to, they don't want to think about it. So this 2-word check-in is just, what are you feeling in 2 words? And so it can be like, I'm happy and hungry. I mean, I get that a lot. Like I'm hungry and tired. But in those 2 words, you're communicating and you're getting information. And then they're also getting information about themselves and a way to check in. And I think it's amazing. So that's something else that I think parents can, if you have that and you talk to your kids and you say, hey, maybe we can start this, just like give me a 2-word check in.
I love
It's,
that.
yeah, yeah. And so it gives you a little screenshot of what's they're going through. And they may look at
Mhm.
you at first like, I'm not doing it. But it's also a great tool for us too. If
Yeah,
we can say back
definitely.
to them, right, in these stressful moments, however, we're trying to help our kids, also giving them a 2-word check-in of what we're thinking is really powerful. So,
Yeah, because then they know where we're at energetically.
mhm, yeah,
It's just
yeah.
kinda like a vibe check.
Mhm.
What's your vibe right now? And then
Yeah,
you know how to support and give what they need.
yeah, it's a cool way to check in. And again, to check in with ourselves and for them to check in with themselves, so.
Yeah, so how do you think the athletic coach that listens to this or a parent that has their kids in sports What do you think needs to be taking place with the coaches in wellness?
I think number one, we all need to take care of ourselves and our wellness and our
Yeah.
well-being, whatever that means, right? And so I think so many coaches are of giving, right? They're out there giving, and there's pressure on coaches as well as there's pressure on the athletes. So, first and foremost is taking care of your own well-being. And
Yeah,
then
that's
through
so important.
yeah. And that may look like, your own nervous system, because we're all when we're in those moments of practices to game time, everybody's elevated, right? Overall, there's so much of the conversation on mental health with our young people today,
Mhm.
uh, and having an awareness on there. So, parents, I mean, we're all one, right? We're all on the
Yeah.
same team for our young people, for our kids. And so,
Yeah.
have conversations. And I think oftentimes it may be difficult and maybe wanting to protect your child to not have the conversations,
Mm.
but finding the people that are around them, the safe people to share so everybody's on the same page. Something else that brought me to this space of wanting to bring wellness to athletics was watching somebody I had worked with at one time coaching, and there was an athlete, and there was just a moment of, like, this athlete had to check out,
Mm.
and the coach also was very stressed. And so there came a moment of coach versus athlete and not really seeing what was going on. But if all parties had communicated, I think, instead of guessing, the guesswork that comes with that,
Yeah.
there been a better interaction. So it ended with both walking away and with the coach realizing, like, oh, wow, I needed to take a breath and walk away. So, having these conversations, I think, is so important.
Yeah, it is so important.
There's so much pressure on young people, and it can be external and it can be internal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of internal, right? And so having that space to not distract from what's going on, but a space of learning how to check in and then ask for what they need to is really important. And having somebody who they can sit with and talk to, because in the world of wellness with an athlete, it's not only breath work, right? You can start to talk to them about different aspects of what it is that they want to work on, what their goals are, and then really help them walk through that.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your wellness coaching for teens and the
Hmm.
workshops that you host for athletic teams. What do
Hmm.
those look like?
Yeah. So my individual one on one coaching is one, I will say right off the bat, I am not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm somebody as a guide to help them figure out what they want to do and then how to achieve that. Because, having anybody tell you exactly what to do, it doesn't work. So, um, that is just having one on one time. So, to hear them, to listen to them, to see where they are, and then be that support person to talk through, okay, if you're a cross country athlete and you're trying to hit a time of 19 minutes and you're at 24, it's great to have a goal to want to get there, but what are the steps that you're actually going to take that are the small actionable steps to get there and set you up for success? And so also that's where comes in, if the breath work, we can visualize. There's so many things that we can do with the nutrition, with our strength training, with our recovery, the yoga piece. That's where I really wanted to get that in, because there's the element of recovery and how do they do that? And then the sleep. So relaxing our bodies at night to sleep. So it's a whole system of working
Yeah,
with the team.
protocol.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so what type of workshops do you host for
Right.
athletic teams?
Yeah. So then the workshops come with bringing a team together and the restorative aspects first, coming together with some yoga practice teaching the restorative aspect of that, and then moving into how we can do what I love is so doing some of the poses alone and then coming together and actually supporting one another. So to show that through these poses, how we support each other in as a team
Ooh.
and in life. And then we can move into where everybody kind of splits apart and goes on their own. And we do visualization. We can do some journaling, and then one of my favorite things is teaching the team peace process. So understanding that language is so important within our team dynamics. And so in a very heated moment as a team, somebody may say something, but learning how to use the right language to come back together and talk about it so it doesn't escalate into something more, because we all know that having a team and being successful, we need to stay united and not divided within a team. And then we can go into relaxation. So, body scans, tense and release, teaching. I love tense and release because it's a great way before an athlete goes to sleep to kind of what you took home from the game or whatever it is you're holding on to. It's a moment to lay in bed and relax your body and then go to sleep.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Clear that
it's
timeline.
yeah, it is because, in the athlete's mind, that whatever happened in that game, whatever happened, it can stay with them. And instead of picking up the phone and just distracting our brains, we're going to relax our bodies and our nervous system so that we
Yeah,
can
before you go to bed,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
is so important. Before you go to bed, you're setting your body up for the next day. So whatever you put in your mind and whatever you release from your body, you're going to carry it to the next day. So releasing it is the best thing to do for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I like the tense and release because if we do that, we're taking our fist and making it tight and then release because you can actually feel the tension and then you can feel the release in your body, which then can relax. But there's other techniques as well. And for me, what this is really about is giving the tools. There are tools that can be used by young people to regulate their nervous systems at any time and to take care of themselves, right?
Yeah.
And that to me is just so important because this then goes beyond athletics, right? It goes into the classroom. It goes when they're out on their own
Yeah,
and
they
through
graduate.
yeah, they graduate.
Yeah, I know. Which we have kids graduating. We've experienced graduation.
Yeah.
So,
And so being able to have the tools that when you're in college, they can help themselves with that. And when they get to college, and if you're an athlete going to college, you are going to be supported. You are going to have this. And I think having it now in high schools, why are we waiting? And then for those who don't go on to play in college, right? So having it in a high school setting to me is just invaluable.
yeah. What is one piece of advice you could give to parents out there that their kids are struggling? They're not necessarily even in sports, but they're struggling, and you can see that they're struggling because they just have crummy attitudes or they're not doing well in school. What's some advice that you can give them? You can give me more than one, but, um, yeah,
Yeah, it's a hard one, right? I think something that I've learned as a mom is that our kids want the space to figure things out themselves. And when we come at them with what we think they should do and what we think they need, they're going to turn away from us. And I have had to really, really learn this one through my own daughters. And I'm even hearing tones of it now, even though I know and I catch myself. And I have one telling me, like, back off, I've got it. Right. And that's hard. So that's one area. And so we want to trust them to be able to come to us when they really need us. The other is listen before you react.
Mm.
And whatever it is they're going through, believe them. If they're tired, and it's sometimes parents, they're in their room, they're on their phones, there's reasons that's happening, right? It's not always about being lazy. It's not always about, there's something going on. So be that space that they can come to with anything. And I know that's so easy to say. And then as far as things that I do, if I post something on social media, if it's my workouts, it's not for anybody on social media to see and say, oh, look at her, she's working out.
Mhm.
A way that I share what I'm doing so that my daughters see a healthy version of it without me being in their
Yeah.
face doing
And
it.
also, if your post just reminds someone that they need to get to the gym
Yeah.
or it
Yeah.
motivates them to do something, you're sharing information.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I mean, I have seen posts from you before of you being at the gym, and I'm like, damn, she's going after it.
Mhm.
Like she just motivated me to go after it. Maybe I
Right.
should go to that place. And then I'm like, I'm not going to that place. I'm not paying for another place. Like I have a gym at my community. Just go to that gym in my community and get it done. But
Yes.
the post is about motivating other people. And I
Yes.
love that it is showing your girls that movement is essential even later in life.
Yes. Yeah. And because I know if I go to them and say, "Hey, you should really do this because you're gonna feel better," they're not. They're
No.
gonna say, "No, thanks." And so that has been a huge part of why I share what I share, because I want them also to be able to see, okay, this is what's happening. And they have watched me walk a path, right? So anxiety has been in my life since I was young. So I remember being an athlete with anxiety and didn't have the proper tools. So my brain would just create ways to get through things.
Yeah.
And once I was able to really understand that I have control of, doesn't mean I'm not going to experience it, but I have a pathway through it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just, yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's my
everything.
hope, if anything, that young people know that they are not alone and that there is a pathway through this. And of course, if your child is struggling, please reach out for help for them. This is beyond breath work, and this is a tool that can complement it.
Yeah.
Um, but their mental health is so important, and there's wonderful resources out there as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me and
Thank
sharing
you.
this vital information that I think everyone needs to know that breath work is for kids too. I mean, there's a big breath work movement that is happening. And I love that you are at the forefront of bringing this to teen athletes because I don't really hear other people bringing that forward. So I think that is really amazing. So I'm very,
Yeah.
very grateful for the work that you're doing.
Of course, and thank you for having me on here and talking about it. Yeah, and just finding the resources. There's so many there's the Calm app, all the things that we know we may wanna use for ourselves, introducing our young people, our kids, and when they're very young is a wonderful time to start because they'll be more
Yes.
open
Yeah.
to doing it? So, and make
Yeah,
it fun.
definitely.
It can all be fun. It doesn't have to be so serious too.
Yeah, I love that. So if people want to reach out to you or connect with you, how can they do so?
Mhm. I have my Stacey Healy Wellness on Instagram. Can reach out to me there, and we can provide my email through
Yeah,
there.
I'll provide your email. That would be
Okay.
great. In the
Yeah.
show notes, her email will be in the show notes, and we'll also put her Instagram handle in the show notes. If you liked this episode, please hit the like button and also share it with a friend. Share it with other parents that need to know about breath work for their kids. I think if we can start teaching our children breath work, I think the anxiety level will go down. So if you like this episode, please share it. You can also follow us on Collective Guidance Podcast on Instagram and our website, collectiveguidance.com. Thank you so much, Stacey.
Thank
And
you.
thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you have a phenomenal day filled with joy, love, kindness, and most importantly, you just stop and take a couple of deep breaths. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today on Collective Guidance. I hope you feel lighter, more inspired, and deeply connected to your own path. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Collective Guidance or our website, collectiveguidance.com. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, may you walk with clarity, courage, joy, and love.